Oh,
Hello everyone, it's me, the usual. How crazy is that? Thank you, thank you. Wow, thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming out. This afternoon. Wow, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Wow, thank you. Wow. Wow, I feel very special. Wow. Anyway, yeah. I don't know, the Discord voted on... Thank you, thank you. The Discord voted on Biomech, so here we are. You guys are having a lot of fun, aren't you? Yeah, just gonna be doing some work on Biomech. I don't anticipate a super long stream or anything. Basically today, I already kind of have an action plan. I'm redoing some stuff. I'm tweaking some stuff, and then I'm finishing up a test character. Is like my my initial plan, and anything beyond that will be oh, and okay, so I'm tweaking, let's see. I'm tweaking soak values, I'm tweaking pierce, I'm tweaking shoulder mounted weapons versus carried weapons, and then I'm redoing part of the sheet for test character 1, finishing test character 2, and maybe starting test character 3. That's what we can look at possibly seeing today. Yeah, I'm tweaking out here. Ain't that crazy? This is some very intense music. You can keep it about there, I guess. But yeah, fucking... Ta-da! Wow, here's a document. Ain't that crazy? So first things first. We need to go down here. Wait, is speed not on here? It isn't. Why? Hey. Yeah, why is speed not there? Update it. Okay, I just had to update it. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So, what I'm looking to do here. The next thing we're adding here is going to be Soak. LibreOffice. Yeah. I don't like Google Docs that much. It's cool if I'm moving things between devices. However, I only write while I'm at my desk, so there's no reason for me to use it. But we want... 6. No, not you. You aren't part of this. There we are. So basically what's going on here is I never really had a clear vision for Soak, I guess, and then it became a problem when I was making a character, so I'm tweaking everything around it, and we're going from there. In short, this is just going to be like, if you've ever played Fantasy Flight's Star Wars system, so like Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, there's Soak, which is basically every time you get attacked, whatever goes over your Soak is how much damage you take. So, figured it would be kind of a neat thing to have on here so that people who build beefy take less damage, people who, you know, because people who build fast are going to have high speed and dodge. Which is another way of dodge is avoiding damage entirely. Soak is eating that damage and not caring, right? That's kind of the difference here. So, wow, I can fucking spell. Christ. God, I don't know what my deal is today. My brain has been off, but I wanted to work on this. So calculate by taking 1/20th resilience score. So, for example, the example given would be like, let's say you have... Let's say you have like 64. So 64 resilience would equal... what's the number there? That would equal 3 soak. because basically for every 20, basically the quick math is every 20 you have can be seen as a soak that you'd have. Granted, if it's 10, then you could round up, but so this'll kind of help people get some stuff in order. Mostly anything's gonna have a soak value, and that's fine. These are massive mechs. Like, we're talking like, I want to say like between 10 to 15 meters tall, depending. You know, we're talking some big boys. But yeah, so, and then this will also be on pilots as well. So if someone is beefy and they get into a beefy mech, that's also going to help. Because biomechs also take into account some of the pilot score as well. So like, we'll get to that. Artificially increase your soak value, very unfamiliar with the system. Well, that's because I'm building the system. And the answer is yes. I'm like taking inspiration from Fantasy Flight's system and kind of, there's going to be more work done into it and it's going to become my own. But yeah, the plan is to have things like, the biomechs are going to have weapon expansions, armor expansions, and core expansions, basically. Really self-explanatory for weapon and armor. Like, the one I have on Test Character 2 is just called Dense Munitions, which gives their kinetic weapons an extra point of pierce whenever they're firing a kinetic weapon, right? So it enforces, it's like leaning into a play style. For Test Character 1, they have what's called Shock Armor, and it just takes 3 damage off if they're ever attacked with melee. And they're good at getting up close. So that's kind of... There's going to be some stuff that's soak. Like, I plan on just having, like, kind of a... There's going to be a range of things. There's going to be some things that are more niche and a bit better, and then there's going to be kind of generalist. Like, oh, this gives you an additional soak. This, you know... But that is kind of a later step. That's going to be more in the beta with character creation and everything. For now. But yeah. So, soak, that's an important thing to have on here. It wasn't there earlier. Let's update the index. Ta-da, there we go. Ain't that nice and pretty? I like how it's bloodstream heat, and then there's 3 other things here, but they are important, and they're all attributes that people are gonna have. So, importante. Up next. Soak will reduce all damage taken by the relevant amount, or you take all the damage. So, let's say you are here. You're in a biomech. You get hit by an autocannon. 9 damage. There's no crits or anything. You just get hit with 9 damage. Okay. What's gonna happen is that, let's say you have that soak of 3, it's gonna soak up 3 of that damage, you take 6. Let's say you get hit by a different attack, and it's a light cannon. 7 damage. You'd take 4 damage because your soak is 3. That's kind of how it works. But let's just double check Pierce here. I remember it was kinda weapon ignores a point of soak equal to level of Pierce the weapon has. Well, that needs a period. First off, but let's see here. But yeah, like auto fire, like there's gonna be things called major and minor criticals within. Yeah, actually, here we go. I'll make this a little nicer to read for like chat. But like Pierce is gonna be like, okay, you can ignore soak. Cool, great. But there's gonna be a lot more. How is the formatting doing this? I don't know. That's a later problem. But yeah. So these are all gonna be different. Now, what I need to do. Test character 1. You don't necessarily have a soak score yet. Yeah, no soak score. Oh yeah, and then this is gonna be a thing as well. You'll see it here, right, with all the ability scores, that it's 75, 89, for example, on Might. That's because the pilot has a base score of 75, and then when in the Biomech, it's 89. And I think this is a really readable way of, like, this way I can keep it nice and condensed on the character sheet, rather than have, like, people bouncing around a crowded character sheet. But, let's see. So, the pilot's resilience is 75, so they would actually get a soak score of 4. Whereas Biomech would get a resilience score of not quite 5, it would still be 4. Or wait, 89, 90. Yeah, no, it would still be 4. Ignoring what the other number was, that makes sense? Yeah. So, because it's pilot over Biomech, right? And that'll be hopefully, like, here's the thing. 89 be very almost 5. Yeah, it's 1 point away. 1 point away. So what's going on here is, like, with all these scores, these are just kind of... Now, you'll notice that Biomech numbers are most of the time higher, sometimes lower. That's because if we go down to this kind of... This is a very rough draft of what frames will look like for characters. Very, very rough draft. This is going to be ironed out in the beta. But what we got here is you can see that Might, Agility, and Resolve all have their own scores, and then they take a quarter of the pilot stat. So, let's say this guy had a low Agility and a high Resolve, this would look a lot different. But he's kind of middling in Agility, he's very good at Might, thus it's a lot more effective. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about was melee arm slots and ranged arm slots. And this is also going to be a rule that I need to add in the alpha document as well. I want to redo this. I have melee arm slots and ranged arm slots, which gets a little weird, right? Because then it's a lot harder to determine, to, like, judge, okay, that hand's in that weapon, or that weapon is in that hand, right? Like, that just becomes maybe a little, it feels like a snag. It feels like it's just a rough patch. So what I want to do instead is I'm just going to have arm slots be arm slots. Shoulder mounts can't be disarmed, however, but they're going to have, like, a minus... I think, like, a -5, because... No, I think they might just not be able to be disarmed, and... Oh yeah, I think being unable to be disarmed and a -5 is fair. Basically, they can't get knocked off, but... And, like, you know, you can use them hands-free and everything, but you don't have the same movement as you would with an arm mounted. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think this is just going to be some slight revisions on how I'm doing this, because I've been sitting on this for a couple days just going, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Shoulder mounts feel like a weird thing. And I think kind of instead of having 3 different categories here where people have to judge what weapon is in what hand, I think it might be better to just have 2 categories, which is arms and shoulders. Because one thing I'm trying to do is, this is going to be a bit of a crunchy game. Character creation requires, like, division and multiplication. Thus, I just need to do some areas elsewhere where it's not... I think in gameplay, I want it to be more arithmetic, rather than, you know, someone has to start doing long division. I'd rather not do that. Keep it very simple if I do. We're talking percents of 50, 25 maybe. That is one thing that's like, I don't want to drive away too many people, and I don't think I would like that either. Anyway, that's besides the point. We're gonna just do arm slots. Funny on paper and extremely nerdy, but not be good in practice. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna give this guy a shoulder mount, because I did for character 2. But yeah, let's... Figuring out a modifier stat to hide some of that division, kind of like D&D. Yeah, and that's kind of what is going on. But thing is, there's things in D&D I do and don't like, especially 5e. Which is why I'm making my own system. And modifiers are kinda there, but how this works, right? This is a D100 game, so you take 2d10, right? And let's say, here, let me grab 2d10 out of my bag. Thank you, dice bag. And let's say I need to make a standard force roll here. Or you know what? Let's say a standard coordination check. And standard just means you have to get under the number. Let's say I'm a pilot making a standard coordination check here. I just rolled a 45. I'm under 55. Thus, I succeed. Right? That's kind of the thought of it, rather than a modifier. I feel like a modifier just... Because then there's things like... Some things do give you a bonus. So if I had a +5 bonus, that would mean I'd need to get under 60, right? And that's kind of where I'm leaving it. Because division is more going to be kept to character creation. Which is fine. I think that's fine, because this would be hard to do with a modifier. Like that 1/3 stat thing. Use that in multiple places, abstracting in a modifier makes sense. It's really only in character creation. Marvel Nth use a pretty neat table to determine roll successes. I mean, I think what I have is something I like, truly, because let me talk about that a little bit. So what I have, so let's talk about combat thresholds. Combat thresholds rely on the weapon you're using. Weapons are going to be more or less reliable, kind of depending on how they do. So like, for example, the pistol, extremely dependable. Just kind of very milquetoast here. When we get down to, say, the boomstick, though, it's a lot easier to get... It's a lot easier to get a bad result. Because if you miss by 12, that is a major failure. but you succeed by 15, that's a major critical. And of course, 100 is a critical failure, and 1 is a critical success, in terms of like rolling a 1 or a 20 on a die. Remember, you always want to be under your score in this game. And that'll be also in the alpha dot. But like, for example, here we go. So yeah, success and failure. I wanted to make a kind of like a gradient here in this game. I don't like just pass-fail. So success and failure. Success, if a player matches or succeeds by 15 points or less, they succeed with no additional effects. Cool. Minor advantage. They succeed by 16 to 30, the GM should give the player either a small bonus, a chance to recover a point of strain, or a minor secondary advantage. Right, and we have a little example here. Major advantage, 31 to 45. The GM should award a major advantage. This can be a larger bonus the player can use later, a chance to recover 3 strain, or a major secondary advantage. Right. And then, of course, a critical success. And I'm telling people how to read the dice here, because I'm writing the game, and this is the right way, and if you read it a different way, you're wrong. Why you're trying to roll under rather than reversing all the math and trying to roll over? More of a practical thing. It's a practical thing. It tends to work easier. It's also, if you've ever played Call of Cthulhu, it's kind of similar to that. Unfortunately, I've never gotten to play it. I know how to run it. I have books for it. I had a group that was going to do it, and then it just never happened. So it's kind of similar to that. Also, no, you're wrong. That's a bad way to read a D100. Well, look who's writing the system. I guess I can't stop anyone at their table, but whatever. In case there's an argument at the table. Number being high is good, then trying to roll under them is the best way to roll without using the scores to modify the dice. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit less math. It's like, oh, my score is high, thus I want to be under that, right? Rather than going, you gotta do the... Because then you'd have to, like, make your score... You'd have to, like, make your scores low and you want to be above that, which could work, but it's more math. I think it makes more sense to me to fall within that threshold. Consider big number many serotonin. Consider big number on sheet continuous serotonin. But so there's also a botch success, which you still succeed, right? But if you fail within a threshold of 5 or less, you succeed, but you get like a very minor disadvantage. Then there's failure, which is just 6 to 15 under, or this is Thaco all over again. You can't stop me. It's just, hey, you fail, that's that. Minor disadvantage, 16 to 30. Major disadvantage, 31 to 45. And, of course, a critical failure, rolling 100, bad. But whatever. That's kind of not what we're working on right now. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Jazz Band. Thank you. Very cool. Something I wanted to do. So, the suck here. It only does 3 damage, but it does Transfusion 5. And if we go read Transfusion, wielder of this weapon regains blood equal to the level of transfusion on the weapon. I don't know why I put 3 and then it does Transfusion 5. It should do 5 damage. Are JJ's going to be canon Biomech? No. This will be completely divorced from my streaming persona. But I can't stop anyone from putting them in their home games, so do what you will. What can happen in the worstest case on crit fail and what can happen in the worstest case of a crit fail and a bad 100 roll? So yeah, if you roll 100, it's similar to the effects of rolling a 1 in D&D 5e, right? It's like, okay, you fail, and it's, in all honesty, this system's gonna ask the GM to do some legwork. I can't really keep people from doing just like a you fail thing. And it's hard to write exactly what I would want them to do, but it's just kind of written that, hey, like, they fail, they take 3, like, they fail and take 3 strain. It's meant to be bad. Also include a list or table things for each outcome class. This is true, and I might do that in a later release. This is an alpha. Like, this is an alpha, this is kind of a, testing the waters, right? Refinement can come later. Like, I gotta kind of keep myself in check. Otherwise, it's just gonna get out of hand, and I'll never get it. I'll never get the alpha out, and then I'll never start working on the beta, and I'll never make character creation. Get a patch notes, edit swimming tables, puts a restaurant to shame. I mean, I give some examples in what to do as well. Like, it's not just like, okay, hey, let's say this player rolls a major advantage. You know, in this case it's stealth, they shut down all the cameras, or, you know, that's how the J guy fucking things up for everyone. Exactly. It's like, this like gives them some more information. You know, it is going to rely on the GM. The GM has to do legwork in this, because that's how I like a game to go, personally. It's why I'm as attached as I am to Fantasy Flight's like narrative dice system, for either Genesis or the Star Wars TTRPG they have. Both systems use narrative dice, and they're really good. They're probably some of my favorite systems. I'd say they are my favorite system. But I can't. I'm not a company that can make dice, so. Rewarding creativity, yeah, exactly. I want creativity to be rewarded here. I find that I do find that in 5e there's a lot of Vegan company that can make dice sounds like a skill issue to me. Not a skill issue, it's a money issue. Support me at Ko-Fi, Jetman J on Ko-Fi. There's my shill. Give me your money so I can do stuff. If you want to make it an issue, I can make it an issue. However, I think we have this set. This document settled for now. Cool. Awesome, cool, awesome. Let's go over to test character 1 again. We have... Oh, right, I wanted to do kind of arm and shoulder mount and everything. Let's see here. Let's look at our weapon table. I think for this guy... Incorrect. There we go. Something else I want to do is... I feel like some of these need a little bit more work. The autocannon doesn't have pierce. The heavy cannon has 14 and pierce 1. I'm wondering... Oh, also, there's range bands in this, which are kind of loose, and that's okay. This is going to be a... Yeah. We'll kind of see how that shakes out. It's an alpha. It's meant for testing. But like, I'm wondering if these need just a little bit of tweaking. Because what we've got so far on Sully here, on Scraps, on like a sim combat, that's true. And that's kind of what I want to do with, part of what I want to do with the alpha. Because I'm kind of bad at that on my own. Which is why I'm going to be relying on some closed alpha testers. And then I'm going to do some refinement and then do an open alpha that anyone can grab. Probably release it on itch. I'm not even going to do pay what you want. You have to go hunt down my Ko-Fi. We're just going to kind of see how that goes. Yeah, so like, we have an armor expansion here. This guy, I want to give him a shoulder mount. I've been thinking, because he has a rip blade and an autocannon. Okay, cool. I think I might just put a light cannon on the shoulder mount. Also, I'm going to take this away. This is no longer going to be there. Not blight cannon, but that might be a thing for later. Left and right arm slots instead of just one. Well, here's the thing. These are carried weapons. Like, these things have hands. Blight cannon? Honestly, I might. Because there are going to be bioweapons. So, like, these things have hands. You can decide to get them integrated. That is a mod idea for the future. But that's, again, more of a beta thing with character creation and all that. But yeah, and honestly, it's going to be a standard thing for shoulder mounts. These you can lose grip of. You can be disarmed, is kind of the idea, which is what makes shoulder mounts appealing despite their -5 bonus they're going to have. Or -5 detriment. But let's put a... I forgot to bold it. I can fucking type. Alright. And specify left and right. They get disarmed, they can pick the weapon up, the other hand won't be confusing. Don't specify left and right, so if they get disarmed, they can pick the weapon up, the other hand won't be confusing. Yeah, and like, I think it is better for, I think it's a better GM to player environment where it says, hey, the GM goes, hey, they're targeting this when disarming you, right? Rather than they're targeting your left hand. It's, hey, that, you know, that autocannon you have, they're targeting that and you're losing it. I feel that is better. I feel it's a better table environment that way. I could be proven wrong. We'll see. Like, one thing I'm gonna do when releasing the alpha, I'm also just gonna leave, like, a link to a form. So that people can submit feedback, if they so desire. Like, I'm full on gonna be, hopefully, collecting data from people I don't know. So that I can take it into account, because I am trying to make something I find fun, but I'm also trying to make something that other people would like in the end. Like, my fun comes first, because this is my project. But other people have great ideas all the time that I might find amazing. So I promise. It's an alpha for a reason. It'll get, hopefully, only better from here. But let's see. We got a light cannon. Let's, oh yeah. Right, minus 5. Ah, God. Alright. So yeah, minus 5 per rolls to this weapon, gets integrated attribute for shoulder mount. And descriptors like this aren't going to be on later character sheets. I'm gonna kinda leave that to be in rules, and maybe there'll be like some spaces for it. I'll have like a primary character sheet, and then like a loadout sheet is kind of my plan at the moment, and maybe like a biography sheet if people want that, akin to like character spell slot and description sheet for 5e. That's not a terrible design. I don't like the base 5e character sheet that much though, so hopefully I can do something better. Which is why I have everything sorted like this already. Everything's gonna be sorted like this. I'm going to have things grouped with their thing. And it's why I have 5 stats, each one has, or I have 5 attributes, each one has 3 skills. I don't need a shitload. Anyway, so let's see here. Oh, and then of course, this. It says 2 slots shock armor. Does that mean it has 2 slots? Oh yeah. Here, let me That's another thing. Good catch. There. Yeah, and then just like a very basic pilot inventory. Everyone's gonna have very basic pilot inventories. I'm thinking like a melee weapon, a ranged weapon, a kind of fun item, and then a just like a first aid kit. Everyone's gonna have like 1, right? Just for the alpha. But I think that is a good revision. Let's go over test character 1. Scraps here. Human. The species ability was actually really fun to come up with. Give all pilots a bottle of booze. What? Like recover? That, you know, booze could be a fun item to write in, where it's like recover X strain. Take like a minus 10 to coordination. That could be fun. That might actually, I'm gonna have to remember that. I'll have to, you know, fuck with that and everything. However, what's going on here? So, why every time I open this document, this just gets fucked up, and I don't well know why. Drunk mech pilots, what could go wrong? Exactly. Fucked up and weird. I love them. But the ability here is improvisational engineering. Use an action to make either systems or coordination check. That way I don't have it just in 1 stat. There's 2 stats people can use, or 2 attributes. Systems is under wit. Coordination is under agility. Systems is under wit. And we have some very simple ones here, where it's just repair either blood or strain on your biomech. But the fun option is right here, where as a pilot, the player can produce a small one-use device to assist them. No material cost. The device must be used by the pilot, not the biomech. This device can give a +10 bonus to one skill check, or have a separate secondary effect that is agreed on between the player and GM. GM must approve. Now, something I've disliked about some of the things in 2014 5e, I know they're making it's a whole thing, so I guess I gotta distinguish them. But the ability can only be used once per session. However, failing the skill check does not use the ability, only the action. Once the skill has successfully been done, then its use is spent. Right. I don't like it where it's like, even if you fail the skill check to do the thing, and even Fantasy Flight, I believe there's a couple in there where if you fail the roll, it's just, that's your thing for that session. Good, fucking chuckle fuck. Never feels great. It's like your special thing. So for this one, it's like, hey, once this has been successfully done, then its use is spent. How's your day going? Going good. Doing some writing. Welcome in. So let's see. We've got, okay, yeah, Pilot's blood and the Biomech's blood, a little bit higher, but that's fine. If you look at these are, what's going on with my music here? Turn that down a little bit. But what's going on here is between Pilot and Biomech, they're not on equal scales here. Right now, anything a Biomech does is 5 times what a Pilot does in terms of, like, combat. So it's, and I'm probably gonna just put it to 10 times because that's easier to calculate. Just by hand. So it's like, if someone shoots a Biomech with a pistol, like a handgun, it's not going to do much. If anything. But if a Biomech shoots you with a light cannon and you're a pilot, you're basically missed. You're just red mist. Like, that's bad for you. Don't do that. But yeah, so we got heat, which is only when in a Biomech. I probably just like Titanfall. God, there's not. There are 2 wolves inside me. One is Armored Core. One is Titanfall. I might make just a purely mecha game at some point that leans more into like the Titanfall kind of thing. Because like I had an early idea where it was like pilots could hop in and out and they could take over other mechs, but then it became just like way too complex in terms of like Biomech, and especially it ground against the lore that I have really roughly, so that's not really a thing. What exactly is a Biomech? Here, let's go through there's a little bit of a setting and introduction area here. In short, this takes place currently in the Andromeda Galaxy, in the far-flung future. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. Lego property called Bionicle. It's not exactly that. So basically, surprise, capitalism's the bad guy. War profiteers began making biomechs, which are weapons of war. You know, war bad. Now, what's going on here is biomechs are basically grown in a vat. They are, in short, a living thing without a proper brain. The pilot acts as the brain anytime they plug in. Pilots, like, say for example, a human pilot, I want you to touch the base of your neck, right, where it meets your spine. I want you to imagine a port there that goes about 12 inches down your spine, and a large needle would go down that. That's how you connect to a biomech. It's very direct. When a pilot is part of a biomech, they are the biomech, essentially. They feel everything the biomech does. They have to attune to its body, the way it moves, etc. Pilots undergo extreme psychotherapy to not go insane from all the extreme dysphoria they have swapping between bodies. If someone, swaps a biomech, it's a big deal, right? They're living things, and you directly connect to them. If a biomech stops living and you're in it, it's an extreme shock to you as the pilot's body, and you're probably going to die. More on that later. Combination of Evangelion Eva and AOT Titan. I've been referenced. I've had Evangelion referenced at me a lot. I've watched 2 episodes with someone, and then that kind of fell apart, and I never finished it. So, needless to say, I don't know a lot about Evangelion. And it's really funny that people are pointing at that. Now I can't watch it until this project's done, because then I feel like I'd make something that's not mine. Apart from other mechas are biological, I see. That's funny. This, I was inspired by an extreme nightmare I had. This is spawned from me having nightmares. Ain't that crazy? So I'll have to watch Evangelion once this project's done, or at least like its beta is released, because I think I'd probably get along with it real well, considering what I'm making. But that's beside the point. Not slightest accusing you. Oh yeah, no, I'm not taking that as you are accusing me of that. That's and besides, I think this is kind of its own thing as well. I'd assume. If someone comes in yelling at me about that, I don't think they're genuine either way. It would be really hard for me to copy Evangelion beat for beat without knowing what I'm doing. So, give an instinct draw comparison with what they know. Oh, for sure, and I welcome it. But yeah, biomechs they're basically extremely modified living creatures. Like, they get electronic systems implanted into them. They get, different mechanical like advantages put into them. Like, we're talking like, engines and stuff to keep legs moving faster. Because they're also like 60 feet tall. Biomechs are only around 15, is different enough. Well, I'm measuring biomechs in meters here. So let's say let's just cut it like 3 feet as the most, like, it's close but not exact. I mean, that, that could end up kind of close. But oh well. But yeah, to like 40 feet roughly, yeah. But yeah. Here we have a little excerpt here, and I kind of did a little bit of posting on the Blue Sky account for Biomech about this. But like, pilots undergo physical, mental, and skill-based training. Once they pass standards of one of the manufacturers, a biomech is made for them, so long as they have payment or are sponsored, blah blah blah. Pilot is outfitted with one of the few ways to connect directly with biomech if a species has a spinal cord. Not all the species in this do. They typically have a receiver installed into their spinal...
Pupa-stinka.
Hello, Gray. Receiver installed into their spinal cord. The openings at the base of the neck goes down the spine for about 12 to 18 inches. A large needle fitted with the receiver on the pilot will be present in the biomech. Varies for different species on how exactly the pilot merges, but all species have a central chamber, which is filled with an amniotic fluid, coded to the pilot's genes when active. This fluid is generally toxic to anyone who's not the pilot, but acts as a way to keep the pilot from experiencing too much shock during combat. So it's like kind of a thing. The pilot is the brain of the biomech during use. The pilot and biomech become one being, with the pilot seeing, feeling, hearing, and doing all functions as the biomech itself. Become many shapes and sizes and configurations, many of them non-human. So here's kind of where it differentiates, because from what I understand, EVAs from Evangelion tend to be very bipedal. Kind of classic mecha. That's not the case here. I don't know if basically just big humans in armor. Yeah, it's not the case here. Some of these things are like, one thing I'm gonna have when it like comes to character creation, and I'm probably gonna put on the test character sheets what their biomechs look like. They're not exactly that. You can have a goddamn little god fucking freak. It's just each one's going to have a set amount of slots to keep balance correctly, but if someone wants to say their biomech is a mass of arms that is like basically just dragging itself everywhere at high speeds, yeah, spider mechs, fucking lobster, yeah, fucking go nuts. It's just everything's going to have a set amount of slots so that it's balanced. No good reason not to specify weapon slots left or right. Exactly. But it's like, yeah, so, and that's why pilots undergo rigorous psychotherapy to keep themselves sane. If someone were to pilot a biomech unprepared, they may hallucinate wildly, thinking they have extra limbs, a different body, or other phenomena. Some hallucinations become violent or are enough to drive the unprepared to suicide, right? So, like, already, in the writing, I am making my pilots as close as I can to a fucking mess. Like, if you pilot a biomech, you are a drug-infused meat sack who walks weird. Like, just in general. Because you're trying to fight off hallucinations of being, 10 meters tall and having 3 more legs than you normally do. Right? Giant ball of arms does sound like something. It sounds cool is what it sounds like. And it's like, it's gonna be up to the players, right? One thing I really want is for customization to be, like, a big thing. Like, just because, fucking Scraps over here has a Bio-Union frame, which tend to be stockier and heavily armored, doesn't mean it can't have, like, 4 legs, right? They can be a tetrapod, it could, have 8 legs, I don't care. Hello, yes, this is my biomech, Hecatoncheirus. I don't know if I said that right. Hecatoncheirus? I don't know. I don't know the inflection here. Either way. Yeah, there's gonna be just a lot of options. Which is the hope. Hecatoncheirus. 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 Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Means the 100-handed ones. See, and that's cool. That's the kind of shit I want players... Greek monster with 3 heads and 100 arms. Yeah, that's the kind of shit I want players to come in with, right? Like, this is a game for people who want freaks. This is a game for freaks. You can have your bipedal whatevers, and that's cool, that's fine. I like mecha. I will not stop anyone from doing that, but this one's for the freaks. Like, here, let's open... Here. Let's also open Test Character 2, because I need to do some editing there. Test Character 2 is another of the species... is a different species than Test Character 1. Test Character 2 is an Akesh, which is basically a centaur, but with 3 arms. And there's some lore there where it's like, they have 2 arms, and then a 3rd arm somewhere between the other 2. Where's the 3rd arm? The 3rd arm is generally on their chest, and there tends to be slight variance. The more centered it is in older society, within, you know, their society used to have kind of a caste system around where the arm was. The more centered it was, the higher in caste you would be. It's not really followed anymore because, you know, everything's gone to shit and there's war everywhere. But it's just kind of a neat piece of writing. So it tends to be in the chest area. Hands and evenly spaced fingers that are more arms and hands for very precise gripping. Oh yeah, they're not going to... You can have generic, like, you know, human-esque hands in there. I want people who have talons, and I want people who have, like, you know, tri-digit hands, you know, like, I want... That's kind of... I want people to be able to say, yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. They're all gonna function kind of the same. Webby frog-ass hands? Yeah. Fucking go nuts. These things are biological nightmares. But for the species ability for the Akesh, right, the last one is improvisational engineering. The Akesh, they have the ability in the red. So the heat system, which I haven't really talked about on stream here. Let's actually go talk about that really quick. It's important for understanding this. And we're going to go talk about the heat system. The heat system, here's the heat system. It goes to 9. This table's split weird on this document. Don't worry about it. That'll be better later. But heat is used in the action economy in this game. And it's only within a biomech. You can only use heat when you're in combat as a biomech. So you start at heat 0, but heat 1, you get a -5, heat 2, -10. This goes all the way to heat 5, where you get -25. Heat 6 starts affecting your movement. You can't move as much anymore. Heat 8, it's -25 and -60% movement. That's bad for you. Also, I think I need to probably change the wording here, actually. Yeah, I think that's better. I have to use biomechs. The Amaratsu Mark 9, a 9-armed, 4-legged biomech with 9 exawatt laser cannon that uses the biologically integrated solar panels integrated into the arms and an enhanced metabolism to precisely dissect their opponents using a hyper-advanced targeting computer that works in opposition to the flesh core of the mecha, and MIP. MIP's fucking weird. You want to know about MIP? Yeah, so MIP is actually one of the smaller ones. It's only about 5 meters tall, but it's just a mouth. It's one big mouth. MIP does not have weapons. MIP instead eats and shits, and that's it. Now we have integrated multiple rows of teeth, each with rip blade and also a weave on the inside of the mouth to, you know, keep more undesirable things from piercing the cockpit. Yeah, no. You can tear apart most anything with this. I have only mouth and... Yeah, I have only mouth and you must scream. Yeah, we named it MIP. It's actually an acronym. It's mouth in pain. There's a mouth and you will be in pain. Thank you for coming. Please buy it. I don't want it. No, but yeah. So I'm actually gonna because -10 to rolls could be read as good. I think this reads a little better. Please buy, please buy MIP. I will give you money. It scares me. All right. Fine, I'm gonna be extra lazy here. Love being lazy. Oh yeah, and then also when you hit heat 9, you enter what's called shutdown. Shutdown, you have to wait for your heat to dissipate to 0, which you lose 3 heat a turn if you take no actions. Every action you don't take, you gain a heat back. A turn is comprised of 3 actions, which you can use for movement, or attacking, etc. Some things may take 2 actions, which will be expanded upon. I'm also, actually, I remember one thing I wanted to do. For the... Right, I'm on the correct document. I wanted to add something. So we have all these things, all these attributes, which I should organize at some point. I'm not going to do that right now. It's an alpha document. It's fine. Oh, wait. There's gore down here. Okay. After gore, let's have... hold on. Also, I'm going to turn the music back up just a little bit. Too much. Whatever. So by MIP, his consciousness couldn't be completely removed from the mech. Yeah. He's got Crag in there with you. Okay. Each. God, I can't do... Jesus Christ. Anyway. So yeah, basically, what I want to add is reload, which for each weapon or level of reload, you have to use an action to reload the weapon before attacking again. So, like, I might make some big fuck-off weapons that, like, people want to use, like, sparingly in combat, where it's like, hey, yeah, I fire a big shot, but it has reload too. I gotta use 2 of my actions in a turn. Right? Stuff like that. Because I'm thinking of giving the heavy cannon reload 1. Because it hits for 14. And, that bulkier biomech has 26. Got it down in 2 shots. It's meant to be bulkier. So I'm probably going to give it reload. And then I'm also going to, for later, this is going to be kind of a modifier for reload, but also, that's too many space. Whatever, fine. Limited ammo is going to be... God. I can't type today. But yeah, you make attacks equal to limited ammo level before being forced to reload. So if it has limited ammo 2, you can attack twice and then you have to reload, right? And this is going to be for some heavier weapons. Some it'll just be a nice thing to have for some weapons later. Yeah. But I want to put on the heavy cannon. Reload 1. Because I think that'll help this be kind of a thing that eats up more of your turn. Yeah. Trying to see how that goes. Because, like, another thing I want to add is more bioweapons, which is why the Blight Cannon is kind of a cool idea. Weapon has reload value, but no limited ammo value. You just have to reload after every attack. Yes. So, if it doesn't... Basically, limited reload is going to apply... Or, limited ammo is only going to apply to weapons with reload, but if it just has reload, it's one shot, right? So, like... You know, I might... I just kind of have it there as something I can use later, because I feel like that's a tool I can play around with. Pizza Mech? Who knows? Yeah, there's a wartime pizza delivery company. Few shots before reloading. Yeah, that's what limited ammo is gonna do. Then you shoot more than if it wasn't present. Maybe magazine be a more fitting name. Well, no. So what it is you can make attacks equal to the limited ammo level before being forced to reload. So if it has limited ammo too, you can fire twice, and then you have to reload. Really makes your ammo less limited. Yeah, that's the point. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so perhaps magazine. Let's see. I might just put ammo count. Also, it kind of clears out level. I think that reads a little better. So ammo count, you can make attacks equal to the ammo count before being forced to reload. Easy peasy. So if it has ammo count 2, you make 2 attacks. I think, yeah, I do agree. That does read a little better. Good call. Alright, anyways. We'll kind of keep that around for later. That's not really going to be used right now. I do plan on making more weapons. Light cannon's going to be a big one. Though not all these are going to be on test characters. These are all just going to be, like, example things. I guess people could take their test characters and do some, futzing around with it. Anyway, test character 2. Need to finish that one. So, test character 2 has a bunch of stuff. Right now, let's see, we have the collect armory frame. So, one thing, so these frames are coming from an old dock, and I've been kind of updating them as I go through. Also, for whatever reason, the spacing on these is just abysmal. A thing to fix later. Like, I don't really know why it's doing this. Like, okay, that's better. Okay, figured it out. Kind of. Okay. There we go. Okay. Awesome. That reads a little better. Just looks nicer. Okay. This guy, I want to give an autocannon. And let's give him... copy over our wording from 1 here. So shoulder mount. Bam, bam. Just keep it nice and easy. I don't feel like typing. Also, we're changing it to just arm slots, so... Sorry, I thought I heard someone at my door. So, one arm slot is for the autocannon. And then one arm slot. Whoops. Let's see here. How fast do you expect combat to go? I expect it to last a few turns. But I expect, well, it kind of depends. Combat might, the hope is for it to be kind of quick, but there's a there's a balance to where it goes from quick and uninteresting, so it can't be too short, but I don't want it to go on long, if that makes sense. Like I want, like, I want attacks to, like, be scary. I want being hit to be scary, right? That's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for, if you get hit, it hurts. I don't like... One thing I don't like about 5e too much is how easy it can be. Quick enough to be tense, but long enough to feel it. Yeah. Because 5e, I think, can really easily fall into a problem of... Yeah, I'm just gonna go get smacked and not give a shit. Right? I want things to have the potential, like, to fuck you up. Period. Like, a pistol, getting shot with a pistol, if you're, like, a pilot, that's gonna, if it hits, that's gonna sting no matter what, is the plan. Especially if it crits. When things crit, they're gonna fuck you up a bit more. And that's a whole nother thing that I have to finish writing as well, but that's not on the docket for today. I'm making test characters to kind of make sure, basically check in with my system, go, hey, you work? Yes, no? Okay. That's not working. Whatever. I wonder why. Okay, well now that's like that. Do that. Okay, arm slot 2, by the way. I got distracted. I think for arm slot 2, so the Kleck, kind of armory, their lores, they focus on kinetic weapons, kind of big ones. I feel like another autocannon could work, but I think we'll just do a light cannon as a more reliable backup. Because it's also going to get, oh, I kind of made light cannon. I mean, it has light, so that's another thing I need to get rid of, actually. This doesn't mean anything anymore. It's outdated with the system. Well, actually, hold on. It still makes sense for pilots. I lied. It makes sense for pilots, but not for biomechs. So we're actually going to get rid of the light attribute. And I think the light cannon, perhaps while doing less damage, I think might have accurate on it. And let's see. Yeah, I think accurate is good. Less recoil to manage. And I think it makes it somewhat appealing. Against, like, just doing that, just grabbing heavy cannon going nuts, right? An autocannon's gonna be kind of your in-between. Does get auto-fire, but you have to crit to get it. Yeah, we'll give it a light cannon. I think we'll give it a light cannon. It'll be fun. Then it can have a heavy cannon on the shoulder. Dense munitions now, like, helps and makes sense. Especially for things like the heavy cannon. Well, everything now has pierce because of that, so that's good. For expansion, this is currently empty. Fuck. Here we are. Also, keep it in line with everything here. Okay, that goes there. Sure, why not? Okay. Now for the inventory. This thing. Thank you. So this guy. Let's kind of go over. So Sundog is the latest mech he runs. He has less might than Scraps, but has a lot more agility. So, what I'm thinking, with a melee weapon, what could be cool is, let's go to pilot. Well, we only really have two, other than the blast knuckles. Could just give him a combat knife. And I think maybe a, you know, I think a combat knife and a marksman rifle. I think that'd be his style. So, Biomechs are, the S is capitalized as well. Because it's not, okay, so it's not a, it's not an acronym. It just felt right to have it capitalized. I don't really know how to explain other than that Biomech is all caps because it feels good. To me. Anyway. As a combat knife, gonna have a marksman rifle. Yeah, it just feels right having it all caps. Like, I don't know. Like, that just feels wrong. That doesn't feel, this feels like blasphemy. I don't know what to tell you. It's an acronym. Biomech, 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 Biomech. Yeah. You get it. That's the only way it could be an acronym. Okay. I keep on... I swear I keep on hearing things at my door. Specific intention, but when I was writing my Biomech short, I did the same thing, just felt right. Yeah! It just feels good! Nice. It just feels good. That's how it is. So, we had combat stimulants on scraps, which is fine. I don't think this guy would have combat stimulants. This guy's kind of been at it longer. In terms of like some bio, right? This guy's been through 3 biomechs and is just constantly going to psychotherapy to like keep shit in check. Which is why his resolve is presence. I mean, I was gonna say, like mood suppressants. Yeah, 10 plus 10 to resolve. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is just mood suppressants, temporary, like, yeah. There's an antipsychotic IV built into the mech. He wishes. No, I think, yeah, let's...
Have you heard of the critically acclaimed TTRPG Biomech? With an expanded pre-alpha which you can play through the entirety of the basics of the first module made by the award-winning streamer Jetmanj for free with no restrictions on feedback.
Well, I mean, that... Not yet, but also I'm not award-winning as far as I'm aware. If I have an award, someone tell me. I don't know where it is. Help. You have an award? Where? In my... Oh, yay! I have Eric's Heart Award! Yay, yippee! Now kiss? Ah, oh, fuck. Well... Mwah. Anyways. Hello, Eric. I award you neat. Yeah, I think... Okay. I think, perhaps... Maybe he has the bottle of booze. Yeah, true. That could also be it. What I'm thinking is, here, let's compare it to the combat stim. Let's take a look at the combat stimulants and try and kind of balance it around here. Because combat stimulants are pilot ignores 1 damage per attack for 5 turns, plus 5 bonus to reaction speed for 5 turns. After it wears off, the user can only take 2 actions per turn for 2 turns. Third action causes 2 strain damage. So they can take 3 actions, but not without some kickback. Just for 2 turns though. So it needs to be temporary. I'm thinking maybe... Yeah, I think perhaps, like, mood suppressants. Just gives, like, a... I think perhaps, instead of, like, ignoring some damage, just gives... plus 10 resolve 5 turns. Yeah. So let's see. Plus 10 resolve for 5 turns. Now we need a little bit of a detriment here. I'm thinking perhaps once it I like it when things have an effect when they wear off a lot of the time. -5 resolve for the next 5 turns. I'm not so sure. Maybe, yeah. I was probably gonna say for the next 2. Because again, it's like, I don't want it to be super long. So, and these, you know what, these times can be adjusted at any point. So yeah, whoops. Plus 10 bonus to resolve for 5 turns. Oh, gotta capitalize that. Okay. Yeah, I think his penalty is the opposite of bonus. Oh, yeah, true. That, yeah. I don't know why I didn't add that. Brain is not here. Okay. Honestly, I should probably start using the word penalty. Or wait, hold on. Because for... Hold on. We're coming across kind of an issue here with how I have some math set up. Because if it's a -5 penalty to rolls with this weapon, you want to get under your score. So for combat, it should be a +5 penalty. Because you don't want to go over your score. Whoops. It's time to go hunt that down. I'm realizing there's a flaw in the language I've been using. You know what? Here, we're gonna keep it -5 for now. Just while I kind of have to sort it out. Yeah, okay, no, my language has been flawed. But... And this is why... making characters. This is why I wanted to do this. I knew making characters would cause me to catch a lot. Let's see here. Give a +10 bonus to 1 skill check. Okay. You know, I think plus and minus... I think people will understand it. Especially with penalty. I think if I specify bonus and penalty... I'm gonna have to workshop that. Truly. That's gonna have to be something I kind of figure out. Assume those modifiers are affecting the number you roll with, not the roll itself. Yes and no. I might need to, yeah, -5 penalty to rolls. So you'd be trying to... So it would take this from 55 to 50, right? This right here. Take that from 55 to 50. Plus 10 would... Okay, yeah, no. It would take it from 55 to 65. Okay, yeah, no. I think I just caught myself in a weird loop. And okay. Huh. But if I can confuse myself like that, it may need some adjustment. I'll have to... Yeah. I'll fuck with it. I'll have to fuck with it. And, like, just carefully read a bunch of stuff. Oh, hey, what the fuck's going on? Oh, okay, that's part of that. What the fuck is going on here? Can I stop you from splitting? Thank you. -5 penalty to agility for attack rolls made of this weapon. True. That's a good idea. Specifically, it would be coordination. Do I have... Hold on, I have I'm just realizing, did I ever write down what integrated is? I did this with, Gore. Do I have integrated? Range, melee, light, one-handed, hidden, auto-fire, pierce, accurate, violent, closing, adaptive, flatten, blast, burning, overheat, transfusion, fragile, integrated. Okay. Weapons integrated directly with Biomech, loses maximum strain equal to... Okay, this is old. Okay. We're just gonna say, there. That way, narratively, if someone loses an arm and they have something integrated into the arm, they can't just go, oh, well, it's still there. You get the point. Okay. Okay. Also, fix some of the spacing. Why are we like this? Okay, the trick from last time isn't working. What's going on here? Your spacing different than everyone else's? What the fuck is going on here? Spacing is 1. Okay. Weird. I wonder why it got like that. Anyways. I'll have to go through and... God. Oh. This, yeah. These will need some adjustment to look nice. Because I don't like this, but it's... it's whatever. Gotta deal with it. Until I, you know, format this better. Why is this here? What are you doing? Little properties. Okay, well. We'll do that for now. Incorrect. Hold on. To properties. Bam, bam, bam. Put it back to 1. Okay. Delete that column. Temple properties. Just be 1. Why are you like this? Gotta head out for therapy. Happy biomeching. Alright, well, yay. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. You know, whatever. Fuck. I'll deal with that later. Stop caring. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, and then why did statuses go all the way down here? It's odd. This document's like trying to fucking fight itself. Get the index. Okay. Okay. What was I doing before I got distracted by that? Fuck. We have test character 1. Has everything there. Test character 2. Done. I think that's a test character 2. Oh, right. Fuck, I need to do the math. Jesus Christ. Also, I wanted to add, this one's also going to take a third here of the pilot's blood, rather than just a quarter, because it's meant for heavy arms. What the fuck is going on here? Alright, anyways. Time to do math. Welcome to the math section, everyone. Yay! Let's see here. So... the might is on this one is 50 plus a quarter. So for the we already got that. We need to do blood, strain, dodge, speed, and soak. All right. You can see where like Okay. This one's a lot faster than the other one, too. Okay, so blood, it's going to be... Let's see. Pilot's blood is 12. So 13 plus a third. So that's just going to be 17. Really? I guess so. Strain is 10 plus a quarter of the pilots. So that's just going to be 12. Dodge. 7 plus half of the pilot's dodge. I didn't calculate the pilot's dodge. Let's go double check on how I did that real quick. Dodge, specifically. Not a primary stat, very common. Yep. Did I not tell people how to dictate dodge? What the fuck is wrong with me? What? How did I do it here? Let's do the math. Dodge is 6. Biomech is 8. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. Let's go write that down real quick. Dodge is just 1/10 of the agility stat. I'm wondering if I should make it 1/10 of the reaction speed instead. Wouldn't change anything on the current one. I think that's good, actually. Reaction speed on dodge, that makes sense, rather than just full on agility. So blood strain, heat, dodge. What are you suggesting? Alright. Dodge is equal to 1/10 of the reaction speed skill. Rounded to the nearest whole number. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I might need to reword this at some point as well. But later. So dodge on this guy. Pilot, reaction speed is 75 and 89. So dodge is gonna be 8 for both. Or sorry, 8 and 9. Eight. Doing this 9. Cool. Speed 8, 9 makes sense. Soak. Let's see. Soak is going to be resilience. 1/20th of that. 3 and also 3. Ta-da! There we go. This one has less soak, less blood. Like, a heavy cannon hit on this guy is gonna hurt, but it has a higher dodge. Like, a higher chance to dodge out of the way. Because if we look at character 1, the dodge is a lot worse. The speed is also a lot worse. Soak's better, though. And it also has a good amount more blood, but that's because... wow. Big, beefy. Okay. I think that's a good character, too. I'd say we can save that. Okay. Get your spacing. There we are. You'll also note that wit and speech don't really get changed by biomechs, since the pilot acts as the brain. That could be a thing to mess with, like, with a later biomech, but at the moment, eh. Let's see here. Okay. Let's go read over some stuff in the master document here. Okay, this is setting, introduction, basic mechanics. Why is this double... Okay, action economy, 3 actions per turn per player, movement attacks, complex interactions, all cost 1 of these actions. I might have to make more examples of, like, complex versus simple interactions, but... Alright. Biomech sounds super familiar, almost also hello. It definitely has inspirations. There's some inspiration from Lancer, there's some inspiration from the Star Wars TRPG by Fantasy Flight. There's inspirations from Call of Cthulhu. Experimental microconsciousness and memories of a bunch of people. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities. But yeah, also... Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so yeah, 3 actions, cool. Alright. Next panel nearby, 1 action, fires a rifle, 1 action, runs for cover, 1 action. Okay, cool. Spent available actions unless they're in their biomech and spending heat. Yep. Can heat for further actions, taking the effects of heat before their roll for the additional action. Yep. Player 1 spends heat to fire the rifle again, and another heat to take the action to take cover, leaving them with a heat score of 2. Cool. Is this a new system? Yeah. No, I've been making this. Hi. This is entirely my work. I've had, like, some insight from friends, but otherwise, yeah, I've been making this on my own for, like, a year now? On and off, and now I've been, like, really kicking into it because I've had a bit more free time. After blowing through some of my projects, or, in the case of ARM, handing the editing over to Sombrero. So it might sound familiar because it's been going on for a while and is now approaching a more realized state. At least the alpha is. Like, this is... Everything on this page has been written by me. Or on, you know, these 14 pages has been me. Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm streaming just so I can, like, chat with people while I do it. Okay, yeah, blood is similar to hit points or HP, works much the same, reaching 0 is bad, stay above that number, yep. Biomechs have an additional rule, when a pilot is inside, when you reach 0 blood, roll a d100. On a 25 or lower, you stand back up with half your blood, rounded up, and gain the on the brink status, yes. Okay. Biomech does not stand back up, you'll begin rolling death saving throws at the beginning of your turn. If you'll roll a 40 or below, you succeed your saving throw. Succeeding 3 times brings you back to 1 blood, and you gain the incapacitated status. Fail 3 times, your character dies. Roll a d100, if you roll 1, your character comes back as one of the Dredge. And replace their species bonuses attributes with that of the Dredge. The Dredge is a thing, it is basically an undead. It's gonna be a playable species. And they're gonna have kind of a slightly different ruling on dying than everyone else. In terms of, like, rolling that 1. But, a separate thing. Okay. Yep, strain, non-lethal, reaching 0, enter shutdown, and the pilot's unconscious. Hey, you're not capitalized. Heresy resolved. Must recover 1 strain to either wake up to regain function, or be set to strain 1 at the end of the combat when the party is out of immediate danger is determined by the GM. Okay, cool. Heat. We've already kind of gone over heat. This is heat. Ta-da. Alright. Yep, heat dissipates at 1 heat per action not taken per turn. Players have 3 actions per turn. Shutdown, they recover 3 heat per turn since they're taking no action. These 2 actions, they gain 1 heat and so on. Okay, cool. Yep, dodge. I'm gonna... Here, you know what? I'm gonna reword this entirely. I don't really like what I had there. Dodge is added as a penalty to the attacker. Dodge is added as a penalty to incoming attacks. So yeah, we'll leave that there for now. Also, I don't know why these are so spaced apart. They don't need to be. Whoa. There we are. Okay. Okay. Speed, yep. Speed score, measured in units. Units is just how I'm gonna do movement. So it could be played on a grid or hex map. Which also means, you know what? This means I can actually put tangible distance on range bands. Because, and you know what? I don't think I actually have range bands in here written down. Like, I know what they are in... Hold on. I think they're on the old Google Doc from when I started brainstorming this a while ago. Let me check something. Hello, old Google Doc. You saucy son of a bitch. Here, we can look at... Oh, there's a lot of old stuff in here. Like, here you can see some of the species and, like, base ideas. The manufacturers. And this is kind of where I'm getting, the old stuff for frames. There's also some weird ones in here. Barely tolerated for being technically better than Word. I use LibreOffice. But Google Docs is good for, like, going between, like, different devices. Except I hate writing on my phone, so I only ever use it at my desktop. Yeah, so there's some weird... There's some weird, fucking things planned. But, you know, we'll get into that. You write directly files, hopefully openable. Yeah. I mean, so long as I save them to docx, most anything can open it. But I do save an OTD backup as well. God! The JJs are all jazz bands today. What the fuck? Why are the JJs jazz bands? I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, here's setting an introduction. Okay. Rolling stats. Biomech. Weapon classifications. Yeah, here's kind of what I had. Exactly what I was hoping for both times. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we have kinetic, energy, bioweapons, melee. Melee's kind of not its own class. It kind of falls... It's just a modifier. That's changed. Expansions, yep. Armor, weapon, and core expansions. That's still kind of a thing. Yeah, you can tell it's not a serious document at the time. Let's see here. Combat rolls. Wow, okay, I never wrote down range bands, but I have range. What the fuck? This is why you go through things. This is why you do this. Okay, you can get out of here. So let's go down to playing the game then. Skill checks, stat bonuses, success, failure, combat rolls, and let's do range under that. Alright. Header 6, please. Okay. Okay, range bands. Dictate a weapon's effectiveness. Also, you know what? I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the restroom. Don't do anything terrible. Or else. Oh, I guess my BRB button isn't working. That's because I didn't turn my foot pedal on. Yeah. 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 Well, it's just broken. Okay. Either way. There we go. I'll be right back.
So tasty!
Hello, I return. Yeah. Okay. Missed the honkopolis? Yeah, that happens. People like honking. Alright, anyway. Range bands. I was making range bands. Okay. So we have engaged. Ooh. We have engaged, which is Jesus Christ, I keep on hitting caps lock. My beloved. Alright. So engaged is directly touching the unit you're occupying. So it's basically like you're up against each other. Cool. Also, let me actually pop. Wow, that's much larger than I wanted. Alright, whatever. Let's see. So we have short. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Range band above their listed range, but get a -10 penalty. You want to fire within your range band. Being at range is where you want to be. There we go. That way you don't have snipers trying to barrel stuff people. I think that kind of... Okay, so directly touching the unit you're occupying. I think short range. I think we do this in... I'm trying to think of how big I would want, like, a map. Right, let's say, like, you're fighting in... How big would a map be? Right, because what we have is engaged to extended. Or, sorry. Thought I had extreme. Yeah, extended is between long and extreme. Guess I don't have extreme. I only went up to extended. Yeah. I think that works. I think... Probably won't need an extreme. If we're being honest. But short range, for example, probably going to be... like... 4 units. Or 1 to 4 units of space. We'll do 5 to 9. Let's see, long will be 10 to 14. There we go. I think that's fair. Like, for example, you got booms. Okay, yeah, no. Nothing here goes. Yeah. So yeah, everything is. Did I swap range? No. Oh, right, no, because that's super long for whatever reason. I'll need to fix that. Hold on. Stop being a weirdo, brother. That's better. Yeah, we're gonna delete that column. I don't believe it's needed. Okay, that reads better. Releasing new, by the way. I just have a mix of Armored Core music. Because, yeah, it makes sense. So right now it's Cosmos, new version, from Armored Core Verdict Day. Makes sense? Yeah. I also learned, unfortunately, so the, Series X Super Neat. Oh, yeah. I also unfortunately learned that the PS2 mix that I used more than a few times, apparently they don't want that being played on streams. My bad. Accident. I think my PNGtuber just froze. Hey, what's up, buddy? Why are we doing this? Ooh. Oh no. Yeah, close that. Okay. That was fun. There we go. Cool. That was weird. Anyway, what was I doing? Sure, I was talking about something. Briefly just turned into a radio. Yeah. Well, because the radio is a separate... So to get it to work properly, I needed to have the radio as a kind of separate thing within OBS. The radio isn't directly attached to the PNGtuber, funnily enough. It was a little bit of a tricky thing to work out, but managed to get it looking okay. They're never exactly synced. Like, you see how the outline shifts on both? they're never exactly synced because of that reason, but I couldn't get it to work any other way. If I could split, like, where PNGtuber, or where PNGtuber Plus was listening, like, and have it be like, oh, for this layer, it listens to this audio channel, then I could sync that properly, but it's not an option on there, and I don't blame them. That's niche. It's a very good program, otherwise. I like it a lot. Very good. Anyways. Honestly, kind of like how it's not synced. I would prefer it to be, but that's fair. Let's see. So we have all that. Let's actually... Whatever. Oh yeah, when an attribute is listed in the damage section of the table, use 1/10 of the score and round it to the nearest whole number. So that's for, like, these, right? Okay, anyways. Where was I going? What was I doing? Right, range bands. We did that. Range bands, you got engaged, short, medium, long, extended. And I'll just put extreme on here. Just for the sake of having it. Is just 21 plus. Let's go. Update this. Update the index. Range bands. Haha, yay! What header is that? That's heading 4. Range band should also be heading 4. Whoops. Damn, burnt it. Welcome in. Okay, update. There we go. Let's check what I said for stat bonuses, just to make sure. Stat is a bonus given to it, +5. Bonus is not applied to the roll. The player. Player makes, it is instead applied to the base stat. For example, if the player is rolling to make a cunning check and their cunning is 63, a +5 bonus is added to 63, making it 68. Okay. Good. There's like little... I don't know why some of these are spaced so weird. That should be there, but that can be right there. This can go up a little bit. Okay. It doesn't have to be the prettiest right now. I'm just trying to neaten it up a little bit. Okay. Well, shit. I think that's some good progress. We got some additions, first off, such as getting soak properly stated, and I just didn't have range bands properly made, and I think them being more numerical like this is probably for the best. That way there's no argument. Like that, it's kind of a small gripe I have with some systems that are like, it's, you know, variant. And it's like, oh, okay, well. Okay. Let's see. Why aren't these bolded? That doesn't make sense for the rest of the document. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. This is also spaced weird. Ugh. Why is this down here? Okay. Okay, this is... Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with what we got going on here. I think this is getting a lot closer to something that can be played. It's heading 6, 4, that's heading 4. Okay. That's good. Yeah, okay. The weird spacing there. Oh, actually. These might need, like, I was trying to keep things, like, kind of short. These might need redone. So that should be a question mark, just grammatically. Oh, you know, there's something that isn't in here at all, anywhere. And I think perhaps should be... What do they put by playing the game? Put it under range bands, I guess. But that's initiative. So that's heading 4. Yeah, so initiative. Heading 4. Not you. Four. So we'll just... This will be simple. Initiative is going to be decided by, is going to be a score that's 1/10 of reaction speed. Yeah, equal to 1/10 reaction speed. Equal to 1/10 reaction. Not... Where did I get 209? What the fuck just happened? Jesus Christ. 1/10 reaction speed. Easy. Easy rule. But it's just good to have it there. There is part of me that... So, okay. So, in the Star Wars Fantasy Flight game, right? Initiative is rolled, and it's player slots and enemy slots, which is kind of neat. I'm not certain it fits the system. But you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually going to have. I think I'll have. I'll have to do some testing. I'll have to test that. There's part of me that wants to do like a standard initiative, and then there's part of me that wants to do player slots versus enemy slots, so that people can kind of can plan and act in turn, rather than like, okay, I'm waiting for my turn. You know what? No. Actually, I think I like the collaboration too strongly of kind of how the Fantasy Flight system works. I think that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna redo this. I'm gonna redo this entirely. I think I'm just gonna kind of take that idea for a spin here. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I'll do something else. Okay. Oh, accidentally hit a thing. Okay. Initiative roll to begin in combat with your reaction speed check. Rather than having static... Rather than having static initiative slots... Can take any initiative slot rolled by another player, but can only take one per round. Okay. And static initiative slots, players can take any initiative slot rolled by another player, but can only take one per round. No, strategizes with a Z. Why the fuck is that? Did I spell it wrong? Hold on. Yeah, I spelled it right. Add to dictionary. That's a real word. Stop fucking with me, LibreOffice. Can strategize with other players and use strategize. There's not go in the same order every turn. Can strategize with other players to alter their turn order. Yeah, can strategize with other players to alter their turn order. Okay. NPC, same as a player. The player goes first. Or hold on, an enemy. Okay, so basically how the idea for this is like, let's say there's player A, B, and C, and then enemy A and B. And let's say it's player slot, enemy, enemy, player slot. Or player slot, enemy, right? So let's say it goes B, C, enemy, A, enemy. But then let's say C is in an advantageous position based on how an enemy moved. So then they decide to go C, A, enemy, B, enemy, right? That's kind of what's going on here. I want player slots to be a thing where they can say, hey, let me go, and then you do this thing. You know, I want player strategy to be part of this, rather than it just... Because that's one thing I... Honestly, after I played Fantasy Flight Star Wars, I honestly really started disliking about 5e, is just like, okay, well, I'm stuck at this initiative slot. I can't, like, properly plan with my friend who's way ahead of me in an initiative. I'm just kind of sitting here. Because, like, there's no way we can properly, you know, do something with a guaranteed that thing's going to be there by the time my turn rolls around. But, you know, player C has this opportunity with them, but they don't have anything that synergizes well enough to really capitalize on. That's kind of what I'm trying to get rid of here. I want players to be able to use each other change up their turn order so that they can synergize with everyone, or have an opportunity to synergize with everyone, rather than be just like, okay, well, I'm sitting next to X this turn, or, you know, for this combat. I don't know. I think it's a lot more neat, and it brings in a lot more, just like, you can hold your action. This is true, but I like this system more. Does that make sense? Like, holding your action is there. I feel this is more dynamic. And I find that having DM'd both games, like 5e and Fantasy Flight Star Wars are the ones I've DM'd the most, I've found that this option really kicks off player creativity a lot more than holding an action 5e. I've found this one far more engaging for players. And also, and I'm not perfect either. It's hard to go, okay, it's not my turn. I just gotta sit here and not pull out your phone. The other option is a lot more, okay, how can I plan with my fellow player? It's a lot more active, I find. Like, if it's a long combat and, like, you're just stuck, it tends to easily become a lot more boring while you wait for your turn. But, whatever. That's kind of where this sits, in my opinion. Either way. I think that's concise but descriptive enough that people will understand what the fuck is going on. Update the index. There we go. There's initiative. Okay. Let's see here. Bloodstream, heat, dodge, speed, soak. Yep, that's all there. I should maybe rename this to something else. Blood, strain, heat was like the initial idea, like selling point. Like, it was gonna be Biomech, well, it was blood system heat at one point as well. And that's changed entirely. Strain was just a better word, and been kind of riding that for a while, and I think I'm gonna change this to something else. Because now it's blood, strain, heat, dodge, speed, soak. We already have attributes and skills. What's another good word? I do not know off the top of my head. Not attribute, not skill. Stats doesn't feel like it's a good idea. Because there's stat bonuses. Time to crack open a thesaurus, I guess. Let's do... aspect, characteristic, facet, I think calling these aspects works. I think that's snappy enough. We'll roll with it for now. I think aspects is good. It's an aspect of your biomech. One of your aspects. An attribute is, you know, attributes and skills. I think that works. I think that falls within like rating goodly. And provides that barrier of separation. Ooh. Anyway, this went on longer than I planned. I planned for like hour and a half. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. I need to go check like a soup I'm working on and like start finishing it. Or getting it ready to be finished, I should say. Yeah, time really flew. But honestly, I think a lot of good stuff got done. There was a lot of like little I think there were a lot of little knobs that we tweaked, and we finished Test Character 2, and we added range bands that weren't in there, and initiative wasn't there. And I mean, dodge, speed, and soak all got a nice polish. Some weapons got adjusted. The blight cannon's now like a thing in my brain that I need to fuck around with. Yeah, good progress. Good progress made today. I think perhaps I think this week I want to get Test Character 3 and 4 out of the oven, get them done, and figure out what I'm doing from there. But yeah, I think this is a good place to call it, if I'm being honest. So let's save this. Save that. Yeah. Okay. Let's go find someone to raid, shall we? If there's anyone on. Do I have any friends on? Not really, no. Well... Shit. I think we'll just leave it here then. I don't really have anyone to toss yet. So it goes. I'll be back. Not tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow I'm operating systems called Torpedos, yeah. Yeah, no. But yeah, I'll be back, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm actually taking time off to, just hang out with some friends and turn my brain off. This last week at work was goddamn rough. I need to find a new job. Kinda rough. Yeah. But that's, you know, that's a separate fucking deal. But I'll be back Thursday. Friday I'll be over on Alex's channel. Saturday, who knows? Sunday, won't be there. 'Cause it's a puzzle box. And yeah, you know the deal. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Get the fuck